Most people have done thousands of crunches and still have nothing to show for it. Researchers at San Diego State University tested 29 different AB exercises, and the standard crunch ranked near the bottom for total muscle activation. Spartans were not doing crunches. These are the movements their cores were built around. This movement was used by Bruce Lee as a personal conditioning tool. The average person who trains abs 5 days a week cannot complete a single clean rep. Dragon flag. The dragon flag works because it turns the entire body into a single rigid lever, forcing the abs, hip flexors, glutes, and lats to fire simultaneously just to resist the descent. You're not curling the spine. You're holding every joint locked while gravity tries to pull you apart from the ankles upward. That is the same tension Spartan warriors built through the Agage, the ability to maintain total body rigidity under external force during a shield wall engagement where breaking position meant the entire line collapsed. Start with negatives. Hold the locked position at the top, then lower as slowly as possible before resetting. 3 sets of 5 negatives, 3-second descent on each rep. 1 session of this will expose more weakness in your chain than months of standard AB work. But the dragon flag is not the highest activation exercise on this list. The next one is. Research measuring electrical activity in the muscles ranked this movement above every exercise commonly found in a commercial gym. Almost nobody performs it correctly. Ab wheel rollout. The AB wheel works because it stretches the abs under load while they contract. When you roll forward, the rectus abdominis must resist spinal extension while simultaneously lengthening. A stimulus no crunch can replicate, because a crunch only works the muscle at a shortened position. Research comparing AB exercises confirmed the rollout produces significantly higher lower rectus activation than any crunch variation. The form cue almost everyone skips. Before you roll forward, pull your ribs toward your pelvis and hold that compression through the entire movement. Not a pelvic tuck, a rib to hip compression. If the lower back arches before you reach the floor, you have gone too far. Start from your knees. 3 sets of 8. Extend only as far as you can maintain that connection. The exercise that follows targets the one portion of the muscle the rollout cannot fully reach. Most people doing this movement train their hip flexors almost exclusively. A single pelvic adjustment changes the entire exercise. Hanging leg raise. The hanging leg raise becomes an ab exercise the moment the pelvis posteriorly tilts. Without that tilt, the hip flexors do all the pulling and the abs stay passive through every single rep. The adjustment. Before you lift, contract the abs and tuck the tailbone slightly forward. You will feel the lower abdominal wall engage before the legs even move, then pull from that compressed position. Spartan Goji training included rope climbing, hanging work, and load carrying from childhood. The posterior tilt was the mechanical reason those activities transferred into real core strength. It was not the volume of the work. It was the pelvis position on every single repetition. 3 sets of 10. Tuck the pelvis first on every rep. If you lose the tuck at any point in the set, that rep does not count toward your total. What follows takes the same demand and pushes it through the full range the abs were designed to work. Most people who can perform 20 clean hanging leg raises cannot complete a single correct rep of this. The difference is not strength. It is spinal flexion, toes to bar. The toes to bar forces the entire rectus abdominis to work at its longest possible range, from full hip extension at the bottom to complete spinal flexion at the top. The hanging leg raise stops halfway. This movement finishes the curl, the distinction that separates it from a hip flexor pull. At the top, the lower back must actively round toward the bar, not merely reach parallel. If the lower back stays flat when the toes arrive, the abs did not finish the rep. Spartan training in the Agage required soldiers to scale ropes, walls, and cliff faces, movements demanding exactly this full range anterior contraction at the end of every reach. They were not training abs, they were surviving terrain. 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps. Complete the curl at the top on every rep. What follows removes all movement from the equation and makes the demand harder. Ancient Greek athletes trained a static hold that requires 0 movement. Most trained people today cannot maintain this position for 10 seconds. L-sit. The L-sit is an isometric contraction of the entire anterior chain held under maximum load. To hold the position, the abs must resist the weight of the legs pulling down on the hip flexors, while the hip flexors simultaneously hold the legs parallel to the floor. Both muscle groups fight each other at once, and neither can rest. Research on isometric training confirms that sustained holds at maximum tension produce strength gains across the full range of motion, not just at the specific angle trained. Spartan wrestlers developed core stability through prolonged resistance in combat holds, not through repetitions. The holds ended when something gave, not on a schedule. Use 2 parallel bars or sturdy chairs. Lift the body. Pull the legs to parallel. Hold without the hips dropping below the hands. 3 holds of 5 to 8 seconds. Add 1 second each session. What follows looks nothing like this and trains the part of the system none of these exercises address on their own. This movement looks simple enough that most people skip it entirely. It is the only exercise on this list that trains the spine to stabilize while the limbs move in opposite directions simultaneously. Dead bug. The dead bug forces the abs to resist extension while the arms and legs move at the same time, replicating exactly the demand the spine faces during running, throwing, or any full-body combat movement. Lie on your back. Press the lower back into the floor. Extend one arm overhead and the opposite leg simultaneously while keeping that lower back contact. The moment it lifts, the movement is broken. Spartan Comet required exactly this dissociation, stabilizing the torso while throwing a spear or absorbing a shield, impacting one half of the body moved while the other remained completely braced. Warriors who could not hold that separation were the first to lose leverage in a fight. 3 sets of 10 reps per side. Keep the back flat on every single rep. What follows is the structural foundation underneath everything on this list, and the one variable that determines how well every other movement actually works. Every elite gymnast in recorded history learns this before any other movement. It is the mechanical foundation underneath every exercise on this list. Hollow body hold. The hollow body hold teaches the nervous system what the abs are actually designed to do. Resist extension, not create flexion. Every exercise before this one, the dragon flag, or the rollout, the hanging raise, the toes to bar, the L-sit, the dead bug, was demanding this exact position under pressure. This exercise makes it deliberate and conscious. Lie on your back. Press the lower back completely flat against the floor, then lift the legs and arms simultaneously while maintaining that contact. The moment the lower back lifts, the position is broken. Spartan wrestlers trained body tension as a tactical asset. Losing it in a ground hold meant losing leverage, and losing leverage meant losing the fight. 3 sets of 20 to 30 seconds. Build that tolerance, and every other exercise on this list becomes measurably more effective within 2 weeks. But there is still one movement left. Every exercise before this one was preparation for it. It requires total body tension from every system trained in this video, performed under maximum mechanical disadvantage. Standing Abbey Wheel Rollout. The Standing Abbey Wheel Rollout begins from upright and descends all the way to the floor without allowing the lower back to arch at any point. Instead of rolling from the knees, the entire body weight loads the abs at full extension. A mechanical demand, no crunch, plank, hanging movement, or kneeling rollout can approach. There is no regression for failure. If you cannot maintain the hollow body position throughout the full descent and return, the rep does not complete. That is not a weakness. That is the information you needed about where your chain actually breaks. Spartan warriors were not ranked by volume in training. They were assessed by what they could hold under maximum load when the margin for error was 0. 1 set of 3 clean reps on this movement is a real accomplishment. 2 sets is exceptional. The abs do not pull, they resist. Every exercise on this list was selected because it forces the abs to fight a load they cannot cheat. The Spartan's core was never trained directly. It was forged by everything else his body was required to survive. That is not inspiration. That is the only mechanism that has ever worked.